Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. Have you heard of Brandon Herrera for ATF director? So this is a thing. This is not even a joke. We'll see if it really happens or not. But the new administration, Trump, they are appointing members of the cabinet rapidly this week. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has a webpage where you can nominate people for different positions. And so, of course, the gun community has spoken and they nominated Brandon Herrera for the position of Director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, otherwise known as the ATF. I think that this could be a very positive thing, and I think that we need to do what we can to make it happen, and I'll tell you exactly what that is. So the reason I think that this could actually happen, and I know I'm being optimistic, the likelihood is not super high, but it is definitely possible. So Brandon Herrera ran last year for Congress. He has shown that he would like to possibly be in politics, and he is a Second Amendment absolutist. I've always kind of wondered why the director of the ATF always seems to be someone that hates firearms, hates the gun community. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. That would be like the director of the FAA hating airplanes. You know, why can't we have somebody that is pro-firearms? Somebody that understands firearms, understands the firearms industry, understands the Second Amendment and what it stands for. And I think that Brandon Herrera does. I think that he would be, considering the other kinds of people that they normally nominate, that they normally put in these types of positions, I think that he would be a fantastic choice for this position. Like I said, he has already shown an interest in politics. And he even made a video earlier this week. In fact, I watched it while I was eating lunch today. Mainly kind of joking, but also he basically said that he was willing to do it if it would happen. What would he be able to do, though, if he became the ATF director? You can't just, immediately make the NFA go away. That would take an act of Congress. But there are a lot of other things that you can do. As we've seen in the last few years, the ATF has made a point of interpreting existing laws to basically decide what is legal and what is not. Think the pistol brace rule, frames and receivers rule, stuff like that. Who's engaged in the business of selling firearms? The ATF, and this is something that luckily should be going away, Chevron deference, but, they do have the power to interpret things as they see fit. And for the most part, that has hurt us rather than helped us. Well, if we have someone in there that interprets things in the right way, that could help us quite a bit in the firearms space. Brandon Herrera is already a very public figure. He's got a YouTube channel with millions of subscribers. Millions. That's a lot of people. And so what we can do to make this happen is, I'm not even on X, Twitter. To be quite honest, I'm not a big social media guy. I know I'm funny because I have a YouTube channel, but the only social media that I am on is YouTube and on Facebook. But I might just have to join X for this because apparently that is where you can nominate people for positions in the cabinet. And if enough people hit up Donald Trump, Robert Kennedy Jr., Elon Musk, the guys that are putting all this thing together, and say that we want Brandon Herrera as ATF director, well, that might actually happen. Let's get a little bit deeper into this after a quick word from our channel partner. This video is sponsored by Aura. How important is privacy to you? Well, to me, it's actually very important, especially the older that I get. You have, a digital signature that follows you. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending how you look at it, so much of life is online now. And if you don't have something like Aura protecting you, well, then you just have a lot of your own personal information out there. And people that, are not very honest have access to that. There are data brokers on the dark web and just the regular internet that are out there finding your information, and then they're selling it to scammers and to, spam companies that, call you with stuff you don't want to hear about and send you emails. And, I have gotten very sick of getting spam, but the biggest thing is also scammers. They take that information and they get them from data brokers, and they use that information to try to scam you. I've been really surprised before when I've gotten calls from scammers how accurate the information that they had about me was, which, makes it seem like it's something legit when it's not. Well, I've had Aura for 8 months now, and I don't get spam calls anymore, and I haven't gotten calls from scammers in that 8 months. Aura is a really awesome service. You can set it up in a matter of minutes. It's very affordable. It gives you a VPN. It gives you, data broker removal. That's the big one to me. But all kinds of other services that help protect your privacy online, you get all that, and it's only $12 a month. But if you use my link down below, aura.com/sawtooth-tactical, you get to try it out for free for 14 days. That's 2 weeks. See if you like it and decide if you want to keep it or not. Check it out, aura.com/sawtooth-tactical. Brandon Herrera, the AK guy, he has had an SOT, FFL SOT 0702, which is a manufacturer's license for firearms for over a decade now. So he does understand the gun industry. He has an AK factory. They build guns. He also has a YouTube channel, and he educates people on firearm stuff, as well as, just being very funny, which is part of why his channel has grown so rapidly and he's done so well. But all of that, I think, can help not only to make this happen, but also help him to be a good candidate for this position. So the fact that he's got millions of subscribers, a lot of people are fans of what he does. And so if we can get a lot of those people to nominate him, well, then it might be something that the president has to take a look at. And, Donald Trump, this time around, has been much more pro-Second Amendment than he was the first time he was president. From what I could tell, he listened a lot to the NRA, which, understandably so, people that aren't really involved in the firearms world, most of them think that the NRA is, the firearms rights group. We all know that it's not. But I can understand why someone that is kind of an outsider of the firearms world trusted the NRA and, the advice that they gave him. Well, it seems that he has learned his lessons in some ways. Now, I don't think that the Second Amendment and that firearms are, the biggest thing on President Trump's list of things that he wants to tackle, but it is on his list, and he has said multiple times that the Second Amendment is very important. Even after getting shot in the ear, he didn't come out and say that they want to get rid of assault rifles, ARs, AKs, stuff like that, even after the guy used an AR-15. And so I think that there is hope, maybe, that when appointing people, it seems like he wants to clean house and start over with good people. He's said a few times in interviews that he feels like he didn't really know who to appoint the first time he was president. He'd never been a politician before. Well, this time he's got a whole team of guys, and it seems like they know what they want to do when it comes to these appointments. And I don't have any idea if they already have someone in mind for ATF director, but if they don't, I think that there is a good chance that someone like Brandon Herrera could actually get that appointment if enough people were backing that. So I think that what we all need to do, and I'm going to figure out how to do it, because like I said, not a big computer guy, not a big social media guy, but there is a way to do this. And I believe what it is on Twitter, X, you're supposed to, tag the president. I think maybe tag Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Elon Musk, and say who you want in these different positions. And I think that if enough people say that we want Brandon Herrera as ATF director, well, that might actually happen. No matter what, that's going to be better than who is the current ATF director. We have had nothing but problems the last 4 years from the ATF. They have gone over legal, law-abiding gun owners, FFLs. They've shut down record numbers of FFLs. They've tried to make us all felons if we had pistol braces that we have owned for years, but by the stroke of a pen, they decided that that made of all of our guns illegal SBRs. Now this one with the pistol brace is still in the process of becoming an SBR. It's been 3.5 months so far that I've waited. But these are the kinds of things that Brandon Herrera could help us with. While he can't, do things that take an act of Congress, such as getting rid of the National Firearms Act, the NFA, he could overhaul the system that sees, NFA approvals. We could get suppressors and SBRs much quicker. And, with Congress on our side this time too, if somebody reintroduces the Hearing Protection Act, well, it could actually pass this time, and we have a president that might sign it. So we might not even have to worry about suppressors being on the NFA anymore. Eventually, I'm not saying that if you're looking for a suppressor, don't go out and buy it, because they might be deregulated soon, because, of course, we have hoped for that in the past and it hasn't happened yet. But things are looking up as far as the government is concerned. And this was just the most recent one that I saw earlier today, that there is a possibility of Brandon Herrera being the director of the ATF. And I think that we need to push for that. So get out there, or get on there on your computer, your phone, whatever. Get on X, Twitter, and let's make this happen, because I think it would be awesome. And for one thing, I think it would be funny as hell. One of us, a Second Amendment absolutist, running, the part of government that regulates firearms. Somebody that actually understands firearms. Somebody that actually understands the firearms industry. Somebody that's not just trying to wrap us in red tape because of the way we want to set up our rifles to use them for perfectly lawful means. So let's make this happen. Everybody, let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think this is a good idea or not? Because, like I said, dude, it's going to be way better than who has been the current ATF director. I think no matter who Trump appoints this time, it's probably going to be better than it has been under the Biden administration. But at the same time, Trump is not a gun guy. He has stated that he is pro-Second Amendment, especially during this last election cycle. But he's not a gun guy. He doesn't understand the way the stuff you and I do. But Brandon Herrera does. So let me know what you guys think about that. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Make sure you subscribe to Sawtooth Tactical. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.